A very good evening to you, dear viewers, and today we have our very special guest, Dr. Fawaz Alkhateeb, a managing partner of a long-standing Kuwaiti law firm, legal strategist and regional representative for Brian Tracy Solutions, with extensive experience in governance, executive education, and dispute resolution. Today he joins us to discuss leadership, the evolving legal landscape, and the foundations of professional success. So, dear viewers, let's all welcome on this beautiful evening Dr. Alkhateeb. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here on Hala Kuwait, and we would like to hear all of your insightful experience.
Thank you so much.
So, first of all, Dr. Alkhateeb, we want to talk about success and how you define success in your point of view.
Very well. So, let me start with this idea that most people think that successful people are the ones who are the smartest or the most intelligent people in the room. While in reality, we could say that they are the people who are disciplined, clear, they have clear goals, clarity, and also they keep learning. So successful people, before going to what is success, they have certain qualities, characteristics that define them from the others. And these qualities are related to learning, keep learning, discipline, and working consistently toward a certain goal. And at the end, they have a positive outlook towards life. Now, moving to your question, what is success? When I was young, I used to think that success meaning winning a case, reaching a goal, achieving something materialistic. However, after working since 2004 till today in Tahir Group, or in an institution, let's say, that goes to 57 years ago, I knew that it's more about peace of mind. You want to have peace of mind. You don't want to be stressed, waking up at night, thinking about problems. Having peace of mind is kind of the ultimate target achievement of all. So the psychology of success goes to people who have balance, like quality relationship, whether with the married or with the family, with the smaller circle. So having quality time with the people we would like to spend more time with. And there are a lot of scientific papers, especially the one which is famous from Harvard. So quality time with the important people, plus peace of mind, and then having the, let's say, 7 roles of life, balance in the 7 roles of life, whether it's health, relations, career. Let's say also when it comes to money, self-dependent, you don't want to depend on others. This is a good definition of success.
Yes, I'm sure we've learned a lot of successful experience from your point of view, and especially to our dear viewers, learning here from your experience, Dr. Alkhateeb, as you mentioned, the balance, the work of life, the environment, and especially the peace of mind, which comes after success, don't you think?
Well, I think having it is the successful, because it's the successful part of life. Because when you have a peace of mind, even when you face crisis, unsuccessful people say problems, we say challenges, then you will deal with them either in a solution method oriented or with calm and clarity. Because when crisis happens, people need direction, roadmap, and only the people who are calm, who are clear towards what they want, can guide people in times of uncertainty. And we have a lot to learn from Kuwait experience, like even with the current war, the recent one, I say, how we dealt with it professionally in terms of media, making sure to control the noise in the, let's say, platforms, making sure the people are not only safe, but they are not panicked. We have stable economy. That means we have clear direction in dealing with the crisis. That means we have successful leaders. So peace of mind is a state of mind that successful people obtain. And through it, they can have a clear roadmap, planning toward their goals like a laser beam. So focus is one of the most important skills, trying to focus on the most important matter that concerns you as a person, whether in your field, in media, in my field, in law or leadership, in everyone's own world.
All right, definitely different worlds are different for different leaders, as you mentioned, and we want to delve more into about leadership skills and how can you differentiate between a successful leader and a leader from these rusts.
I've been blessed to work closely with Brian Tracy. I visited him in his home with his wife Barbara and Dr. Christina, his daughter. And they have very important books. I think Brian wrote 92 books. What I've learned from his side of looking into success, also what I've learned from my own experience dealing with people, when we have an issue, successful leaders look into it as challenges, solution-oriented, calm and clarity. Unsuccessful leaders look into it as problems, hesitation. They create doubt within their teams, and they look into obstacles rather than solutions. And these are the two different themes when it comes to the bigger picture of how successful leader deal with the matter. Now, in any case, leaders also deal with the teams. So teams need, let's say, clarity in what do we want from them. So orientation or directing people, training people. So directing is telling them what to do. Training them is giving them the necessary skills they need to achieve whatever task and how mature they deal with the task. Then it comes to delegating some matter to the team to make sure every person is doing what best perform at their best, let's say, and last but not least, giving them a clear vision. So having a vision, moving toward the vision together as a team would be a good assessment or let's say a test of whether we have a good leader or not.
All right. So these qualities, as you mentioned, in a successful leader and unsuccessful one comes through experience and learning, as you mentioned, and giving out the right cause to the team.
Yes, the right vision, the right cause, empowering the team. When we deal with a team, an unsuccessful leader would say, I don't want anyone to be more powerful than me. However, in reality, the team always should be more powerful than the leader because they are specialized. The leader look into the full picture. Teams work in specific, very specific, like presenting a program. Your leader should not be better than you in presenting. Like the cameraman, like you have different roles. Every role should, the person who provide in that role should be better than his leader. And the leader should be proud about the other successful individuals within the team and also empower them, direct them, train them, delegate certain tasks to them, and most importantly is encourage them to be the best version of themselves. whether the incentive could be material incentive or could be moral one related to encourage having their backs, especially in difficult times.
And all the team should be working on the same vision as the leader's vision.
They should. And also, a good leader, when dealing with the team, should empower their strengths. Let's say an example. You are very good in certain area, let's say mathematics. However, you're not that good in science. I shouldn't empower you or give you the tools to be better person in science, because your passion, your love in mathematics. Okay. If I empowered you, if I gave you all the tools to be the best version of yourself in mathematics, you will be a superhuman in that field. So let's say in another word, you should make sure that people do what they love and love what they do. And as a team leader, you have to deal with the team within their passion and skills that could, in the bigger picture, develop a better outcome towards the vision you planned.
Yes, beautifully spoken really from you, Dr. Fawaz Alkhateeb. We really love your experience. I'm sure our dear viewers are really enjoying this interview with you too. So we want to talk more about you, Dr. Alkhateeb. So you started as a lawyer, a practitioner, and how did you evolve to be a strategic advisor globally?
So the law firm goes back to 1969, that is around 57 years ago. So I've joined a heritage of knowledge. Now, after which, I've been an assistant lawyer back then, so I do the delegate work. And in 2009, I have the full license and I start appealing from the court. Back then, the board of directors invested in me. I studied in Manchester and Durham universities in UK and learned a lot from their experience and worked there with a prestigious law firm called Clifford Chance, one of the leading in the market. I learned that either you know 20% of everything or 80 to 90% of one thing. So specialization is very important. Okay. So focusing on one single matter is important, and I was focusing on managing law firm and developing skills. So we created a sub-company for training, approved from the government, internal and external training, and the board asked me in 2021, how can we best build better generation? So we were thinking about the skills and the gaps in GCC and the Kuwaiti market, and we thought that we need leadership skills, closing deal skills, performing at your best skills. And this is where we thought about certain names like Stephen Covey, like Brian Tracy, like Tony. So there are some people in the Western world who are really good at what they do. And I've traveled and met several and reached a conclusion to go exclusively with Brian Tracy. And this is where we try to fill a gap in the market in the MENA. We are in 14 countries. We do provide Brian Tracy solutions, let's say power series, we call them, to make sure that people perform their best in their life. And we follow a certain funnel, which goes as this: cleaning the garden, that is cleaning the negative ideas, the experiences people face in their lives, the, let's say, negative people they meet, and then planting new ideas, that is to be the best version of themselves through planting certain productive ideas to make them unstoppable, to make them better, more productive in their lives, and to also have the power of focusing like a laser beam towards their goal. Also, we thought the best skill a person should have is selling, because you're selling an idea to your children, to your wife, to your boss. You're always selling an idea. What is a talk but a dynamic conversation and discussion between two? And the dynamic talk ends with a call to action. You want me to do something, I want you to do another thing in return. So closing deals, meaning you should know how to gap analysis, what is the issue in the market, or in a certain place, in the work, and whatever. And then showing the value, then you always will have a price resistance, a discussion. And this is where you go back to showing the value again until you reach a conclusion. So closing deals is something also we uniquely try to fill the gap in the market and to provide. And lastly is superior leadership. So leading through being an example, focusing on the future, not blaming the past, because successful leaders always talk about the future. So when someone makes a mistake in work, a bad leader will say, oh, you did this, oh, you did that, you should be punished, whatever. A good leader will focus on directing. In the future, you should do that. This is a lesson to be learned from this example, encouraging people.
Definitely such a lovely experience that you brought to us here on Hala Kuwait. I'm sure I really loved your information and your valued here, as I'm sure our dear viewers also are learning too. Especially that you said that you brought your experience from Manchester and to the state of Kuwait, and also you're participating around the GCC. So, but dear viewers, we shall take this next report and we shall be back to ask Dr. Alkhateeb more questions. Stay tuned. And we are back, dear viewers, on this beautiful evening. We're still joined by Dr. Fawaz Alkhateeb, a lawyer, a legal strategist, and executive educator here on Hala Kuwait. It's such a pleasure to be talking to you, Doctor. And we shall ask you more about the artificial intelligence impact here in our beautiful state of Kuwait, especially, and how it's affecting the business firms, the law firms, and all kinds of businesses, really.
Very well. So people have a tendency to think that AI will replace employees in different sectors. Looking into history, we had electricity, we had computers, we had the internet, we have the networks, and we're always going to move forward toward, let's say, a better future. So the question should be not whether AI will replace jobs, but how can we use AI effectively? How can we benefit from it to accelerate the process of development? And this is where the need of learning more is vital. So we always need to adapt, learn more, look into the future in a positive outlook. However, we have to ask ourselves, how can we use better AI effectively to accelerate the process of human development?
All right. And Doctor, what do you have to say to the people that are asking the artificial intelligence legal questions and basing their decision on the advice that they take from these chatbots?
We've been testing it, to be frank. We had several contracts to benefit from AI. However, the accuracy is problematic, especially due to AI hallucinations. So the AI could mix some wrong information within the context of answering the question, and that could lead to problematic legal instances. So what I can say is, put your thoughts in it, and then ask a professional who's submitted in the bar, because we have every jurisdiction different criteria. So I have one example.
Yes.
I'll give you a practical example, a story. Someone came to my office and asked me, why should I get your advice while I have the full contract written with the AI? I told him, okay, that's a good question. Let's give it a go. So I reviewed it, and the issue was the second party They are not licensed to provide a certain aspect of work. So if you deal with a party who is not licensed to provide certain service, then it is illegal to conduct a business without a license from Ministry of Commerce. Then all the money obtained will be considered illegal. Then we are in front of money laundering scenario. So AI provided a very good structure, clauses, jurisdiction, etc., but missed checking a checklist, which is who I'm dealing with, are they licensed, are they legal, etc. So you always need to consult, that is to have a preventive approach, precautionary approach, rather than solving the problem when a problem happens.
All right, definitely. I'm sure our dear viewers would love to seek professional advice from such experts like you, Dr. Fawaz Alkhateeb. And we want to ask you really for our youth that they are continuing their studies, educational background outside of Kuwait and also in Kuwait here. And how would you advise them how to navigate their careers, especially here in our beautiful state of Kuwait, with many opportunities upcoming?
So Kuwait is the land of opportunities. There is a lot of potential of growth. We have a lot of positive people. We have a lot of creative people. You can see they are always shining stars in different, whether it's in the food and chains, whether they are in the let's say, exploring when we see new companies in the stock market, foreign companies are trying to acquire these companies. Yes. And we have a lot of examples. I don't want to mention names due to someone told me not to get into marketing or etc. But in any case, in seeking their journey in life towards success and peace of mind and balancing and giving their time with the quality ones, they should seek what they are passionate towards. But also they should look into opportunities where there are gaps. So we can see a lot of gaps in cybercrime, in AI. We need to develop that in Kuwait, especially integrating AI with different industries. So you can study medical or medicine and AI, law and AI. You can mix all the different disciplines within the idea of artificial intelligence or governance. Governance is very important because no matter how skilled you are, you need to have a very strong foundation of values. So governance comes governing the value of business, the value of profession, different professions. Now, what should they seek? Continuing learning, clarity. What should they seek is having a laser beam, clear focus oriented to let's say goal or vision toward a certain aspect they would have passion in. What they should seek is also developing their skills.
Yes.
Because there is difference between training your skills and learning certain aspects you are passionate toward.
Definitely lovely advice from you, Dr. Fawaz Alkhateeb. For us really here at Hala Kuwait, and I'm sure our dear viewers also enjoyed all your advice and your experience in your successful life, and we wish you further success, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
So we'd love to really thank you for joining us here.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So dear viewers, let's all thank the coming of Dr. Fawaz Alkhateeb, a lawyer, a legal strategist, and executive educator here on Hala Kuwait. And dear viewers, we have also reached the end of today's episode for the day. We hope you have enjoyed all our segments, reports, and our very special guest, Dr. Fawaz Alkhateeb, for giving us all of his insightful experience, really. So we shall see you again tomorrow, dear viewers. See you.